Good morning, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to GirlTrek's Liberation Line. It is Saturday, September 14th. It is a powerful day for Black women across the country to gather and walk and talk with us. For this week, we are grounding in both the Black history facts that tomorrow, September 15th, is the anniversary of the 16th Street bombing, and we are uplifting the 4 little girls who were killed and bombed on that day. Those 4 little girls, Addie Mae Collins, Carol Robertson, Cynthia Weasley, and Denise McNair. We walk for you, we walk for your families, and we continue your legacy. And we uplift that this week we lost an icon on Tuesday, September 10th, Frankie Beverly, the legendary frontman of Maze. There would be no Black family reunions. There would be no wedding celebrations and line dances. He was a man who was able to document our joy and our pain, our ups and our downs in such a beautiful way. He is entrenched in our culture. And so shout out to all of the people who love Frankie Beverly's music and are mourning him this week. Welcome to the call. This is your girl, Vanessa, and do I have on the line with me Morgan?
Hey, family.
Hey,
everybody.
Good morning, Morgan.
Roller skater said everybody's wearing white. My cousin who's a roller skater said everybody is, good morning. my cousin said, shout out to BJ, that everybody's supposed to wear white on Friday for Frankie Beverly. And I was like, I had not gotten this memo. I was just like, but I'm going to wear white on Friday, this upcoming Friday, the 20th. It's like a whiteout. They called it a whiteout, like a white party.
I saw DC got some flyers already up. I think it's going to be the biggest thing to happen in Black America, y'all. It's going to be white from coast to coast. Okay, from Donna to Biloxi, Mississippi. We all got to get our white.
I'm excited about it. Yeah, I'm excited about it. I mean, Frankie Beverly was at every single white lawn party, hood lawn party, or the lawn party in 1990s and 2000s, where you was with whoever you was with some champagne. So I'm super excited. What a legend. What a legendary life to lead. You know what I mean?
I know.
I'm so excited.
And I especially love his
family
and
because, outpouring.
Oh yes, sorry, I was talking over you. But yes, and I was saying I especially love his legacy because I love traditions, y'all. I love cultural traditions and rituals. I think all Black people do. Let's face it. We all got our own. And Frankie was like one of those singers who was just like, he gave us a unified language. Like he was able to unite us like across like our class systems, across our neighborhoods, across our regions, like with traditions and stuff that really united us. So I just love him.
I had the best moment in the whole world just recently at my niece's wedding. My niece Shay got married, and my mom was there. My mom was a missionary in the Church of God in Christ. If you don't know, you know. If you do know, you do know. And, she still wears slips. And, we having her hat on with some bobby pins and stuff. That's my mama. So we were at the wedding, and it was like a generational moment where Shay and her friends was dancing to some particular kind of music that I like because I'm in between the generations. And my sister's 9 years older than me, and then my mom is our mom. And so we were all sitting there, and I was like, Lord, do I get up and dance to this? Should we get up and dance to this? And then wipe it down, Kim, I had to. Like, that's our generation.
Oh yeah.
So then, I'm like, yes, and then I'm like dancing. So then I just went and grabbed my mom's hand to see if she could come in and line dance with us and do the electric slide or whatever we was doing. And she was, my mom, she's like Creole. She was so like her hand was so tense. I just put my arm around her and I just was like, okay, to the left. I can't get out. I drop it, turn it right herself. And she was just trying to do it, and she did so good, and she stayed in the whole song. I was so proud of her. I was so proud of us. It just felt really nice. So I agree with you. I love being on one accord. I love We Are One as a song. And with that, we should move into our movement meditation. Is that okay, V?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, I was thinking about our guest today. Everybody's homegirl, Aisha. She is our friend. She is the foremost expert in alleviating poverty, particularly with Black women. We love her. I cannot wait to talk to her. And I was thinking, my God, what then do we meditate on? So today we're going to do a walking meditation on embodying abundance, worth, and gratitude. Abundance, worth, and gratitude. I want to, first of all, welcome you to the call. I am so grateful to be walking with so many Black women around the world at this exact moment. As you walk, gently and steadily, you will allow the movement to connect us with the flow of life. Please take a moment to scan your body and make sure that you are walking tall, that you are rolling your feet to kiss the earth with each step, and gently softening your gaze so that your instincts are keeping you safe, but your mind is quieting. If your eyes are darting left to right, just let them focus and be guided by the horizon in front of you. You are safe. This moment is quiet. And you are just taking steps that are moving you forward. As we begin with breathing, I want you to take a rich, deep breath in through your nose and exhale intentionally through your mouth, letting out aha. Breathe in deeply again and inhale. Exhale, releasing any tension or distractions. With each inhale at your own pace, breathe in light, abundance, and joy. And with each exhale, let go of any limiting thoughts or doubt or fears that no longer serve you. As you continue breathing, feel your body becoming lighter, more at ease, and fully present. Let your breath guide you into this moment and sync it with your every step. If you're walking slowly, maybe your inhale is 2 steps or 3 steps of inhale. Make your exhale as long. If you're walking fast, maybe your inhale takes 5 or 6 steps to inhale. Make your exhale as long. Pay attention to your breathing. All you need to do is walk, breathe, and be. Now, as you continue walking, allow these affirmations to settle into your heart. You can repeat them silently as you move, letting my rhythm become your rhythm, letting our bodies move together. I will say the affirmation and pause so that you can repeat it in your mind, or you can say it out loud if the spirit moves. I am enough. I am worthy. I am abundant. I trust the flow. I deserve good things. Love is here. I am light. I am grateful. I am confident. I attract goodness. My life is filled. I am blessed. I am worthy. I walk in gratitude. It all surrounds me. I'm overflowing. I am abundant. I claim my power. I am thankful for this moment. I feel joy. I am aligned. I walk in purpose. I create space. I am abundant. I am open. I am alive. I am here. Hold these affirmations as your truth. Let each step anchor these words into your body. We move into 3 moments of reflection. The first is to reflect on abundance. As you are walking, remember a time you felt abundant. You felt full of life. You felt overflowing. Do not overthink this. The first thought that comes to your mind is good enough. a time when you felt full, the last year, 2 years, maybe decade, one moment when you felt full. I will pause so you can think of that moment. Hold on to it. Maybe this is a time you received an unexpected gift, overflowing with joy. You felt connected to a loved one or an opportunity. Something exciting happened. One time you felt full. You got it? As you remember this moment, feel it in your body. Let your steps become lighter as you feel and remember that feeling in your body of abundance, of fullness, of overflow. Imagine this abundance spiraling through you, lifting you up, propelling you forward with every step. Second, let's embody worthiness. Please think of a time when you felt deeply worthy. It could be a moment of personal triumph, or when you were celebrated at work, or maybe one time you were walking tall because something happened, you had on a cute outfit, you were promoted, you felt proud of a decision you made, or maybe you recognized your own strength in a quiet moment. A time you felt worthy in your body. Continue to breathe. With each step, embody that sense of worthiness. Feel it in your spine and in your chest. You are worthy of those deep breaths. Worthy of your neck, in your solar plexus, in the rhythm of your feet. Let dignity pull you up like a soft string from the crown of your head. You are deserving of all of the goodness that flows in you right now. Lastly, our reflection is on gratitude. Remember a time you just wanted to say thank you. Someone helped you. You felt appreciated. Perhaps it was a consideration or kindness of someone else when you really needed it. A hug. Feel gratitude in your body. What does it make your body feel like? Let this feeling of gratitude fill you up with lightness and sensation, moving you forward with joy and gratitude. This is the spirit that embodies our walk today. And finally, we move to feeling and not thinking. Now that we've stirred those feelings up in our body of abundance, of worthiness, of gratitude, from the soles of our feet, the top of our head, walk in that feeling. There's a Tibetan tradition that when monks were walking around in their villages, every time the school bell or the church bell or the chapel bell, any bell would chime, everyone would pause their thinking and be present in the moment. So let us practice that tradition as we listen for 1 minute to the bells chiming to end this embodiment exercise. As you hear the bells, cease all thinking and feel abundance in your body, gratitude, and worthiness. We are grateful for this time together. I hope and pray that you can feel a sense of worthiness, gratitude, and abundance as you walk through this day. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for that meditation, Morgan.
Ooh, it's hard to feel embodied. I was thinking this morning, like, there's no way I can lead this meditation unless I feel full. And I was sitting on my bed, looking out of my window, and just trying to remember a time when I felt full. It has been such a hard few weeks for me personally that I felt like a bobblehead just in my brain and not in my body. And I was so grateful that I could get back into breathing and get back into my feet, like trembling when I get nervous, or get back into my chest, getting full with pride and love and generosity. I want us to feel. I want us to feel. Yeah, I want us to feel, particularly as we talk about a topic that is so hard, which is poverty, and is at the root of all injustice. You know, the intersection of capitalism in this country and racism is so evident. We were brought over as chattel, as actual property, as actual, like, a wealth-building tool for plantation owners who were enslavers, and they were concerned with their bottom line. So there is a direct connection from our trauma in our actual bodies to the topic that we're going to talk about today, which is poverty. So I'm so excited to have Aisha with us today. Vanessa, do you want to introduce her?
Yeah, I do. And before I do, I want to just say thank you for introducing the affirmations around abundance, because if you are new and just joining this call today, we've been on the line for at least now, I think this is our 5th Saturday, and we are being very intentional about walking and talking with Black women who are joining us from literally every part of the world. Women wake up early on the West Coast and other countries so they can be a part of these conversations, so that we could share solutions and we can share strategies, and we cannot be so focused on where the problem is. And yesterday I was at an event for Congressional Black Caucus Week is here, and I was at an event with the Highland Project, and they've just released this data around Black women and their feelings around the election and the conversations even we've been having in it. One of the statistics is that more than 80% of Black women are feeling really hopeful right now. And that's really important, because even with the affirmations, a part of this is spiritual warfare for our ability to say, even though the statistics are dire, the statistics say that Black households possess just 15% of the wealth of white households. The statistics say that half of working women of color earn less than $15 an hour. The statistics say that nearly 1 in 5 Black women lived in poverty in 2021. The statistics say that Black women earn only 62 cents for every dollar white men earn. And the statistics don't need to tell us what our realities tell us when we go to the grocery store, when we are trying to help our extended family members, when we are trying to figure out how we show up for our children, and when we have caregiver responsibilities, and all of the different things that say the finances are tight. And all of those things say that systemically we are trying to understand how we even build wealth as a community, and how do we even define wealth in relation to this capitalistic world that has devalued our actual assets and put all of our value into monetary things in a way that don't actually serve us. It is such a complex conversation, but at the core of it, to hear yesterday those statistics that say that Black women are mostly hopeful in this moment right now, that speaks to the power and the potential and the possibility of what can happen on these calls. And so as we get ready to bring Aisha in, I want to remind every single woman that you can hit *9 right now if you were moved by the meditation, if you have a reflection on one of the things that you held space for. Where are you experiencing abundance? Where are you experiencing gratitude? If you hear something from this conversation we're going to have with Aisha around the solutions that she is uplifting, and Aisha, just to uplift what Morgan was saying. She's the CEO of Springboard To Opportunities. It's a nonprofit dedicated to ending generational poverty through a resident-driven approach. She's very well known for founding the Magnolia Mothers Trust, which was the first guaranteed income program for Black mothers in the U.S., providing $1,000 monthly to participants. She's supported mothers. She's supported the community of Mississippi. She's been a thought partner to leaders across the country. And so we're going to bring Aisha in, and then we're going to bring in the voices of the women who are on this call, because I know y'all got something to say. So I'm excited to bring her in as well. Hopefully she's on. Good morning, Aisha.
I am. Good morning, Vanessa and Morgan and ladies. I am here. Good morning. Good morning.
Oh, it's so good to hear from you. I know it's 8 a.m. there in the Central Time, and it's early, and it's a Saturday, and you are a mommy, and you have responsibilities. You're leading a major movement, so we don't take for granted that you had the time this morning to join us, and I know the women are so grateful.
I know. I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me into the conversation.
You are welcome.
Hey,
you are
girl,
welcome.
hey.
What's up?
I came up here to say hi.
You're so funny. Hey, Morgan.
Hi. It's good to hear your voice. Are you in Mississippi?
Y'all. I am. I made it back home last night. I was actually in Virginia and DC for most of the weeks. I made it back home last night, and it is, what is this? Today is the Mississippi Book Festival weekend, and it's Jackson State Southern weekend, and it's golf tournament weekend. So just all the, full things of adulting and trying to parent, but then also trying to, have my hot girl moments in between. So it's all good.
Listen. Listen, I'm so grateful for Traveling Mercies. I'm grateful that you're home. It sounds like a fun weekend. I'm excited to see you on the ground. That's good.
I know. I'm excited for the weekend.
I knew we would be kindred spirits and sisters when I saw you in California, and you were being interviewed by a famous journalist, and he asked you a question about your foremothers and their economic situation and why. And I watched you blink, and then I watched you evaluate how much you would be able to tell this man. And then I watched you get emotional, and then I watched you answer with such elegance. And I was just like, this woman knows how to hold on to complexity and then stream it through productivity in this way that is so powerful. And so we know that the topic that we're talking about is complex and intentional and systematic, and we know that our solutions have to be the same. So I'm excited. V, do you have questions for Aisha? I'm so excited to learn more about your work.
Thanks. Yeah, I was wondering if you could even start when you were talking earlier and you said the movement for universal income. And I think that a lot of people don't even understand. So conceptually, can you even break it down foundationally? What is your work? What is the movement? And how is it a solution towards the issues that we are facing with poverty?
Yeah, so we're about to have multiple conversations. So the work that I do in Jackson, Mississippi, we started 6 years. So I've been leading Springboard To Opportunities, which is an organization that provides programs and services for families that live in federally subsidized affordable housing for 11 years. I started the organization 11 years ago with this idea that we really could center the needs of community and establishing programs and solutions to help them advance in life, school, and work. With that very simple idea of how do you listen to community, how do you trust them, and how do you go about being responsive to their needs. Well, fast forward in doing that work, about 6 years ago, we became very concerned that we were not moving the needle on poverty, that this very thing that so many of our families were asking for, which was the ability to transition out of affordable housing, we were not being successful in the organization in helping them to achieve. And it wasn't that that was our goal to help them achieve that, but it was concerning for us because that was the goal of so many of our families. And if we are an organization that prides ourselves on being radically resident driven, the fact that we were not being successful in that, or they were not being successful in achieving that goal, we knew that we were missing something. Since I am rooted in community, I was raised by a group of activists and advocates and civil rights veterans. I believe that whenever you have issues or questions within community, you go to community and you listen, point blank, period. Um, so we do what we always do. We went to the families that we work with and we said that we know we're missing something here. What is it? And families told us time and time again just the stories of their lives. They are told us about, how my daughter made the chilling squad and I'm so excited for her, but I'm really stressed because where am I going to get that extra money for camp and the uniform and practices and all of those pieces? It was stories about cars breaking down and not having the financial resources to get to and from work to get the car fixed. So it was just those very real realities of their day-to-day lives with the families that we work with, were trusting us with. And so we said, okay, well, how do we go about solving for this? Like, people aren't asking for anything. They aren't complaining about anything. They're just talking about the complexities of their lives. And the theme within the complexity of their lives was just a lack of financial capital, point blank, period. Folks just needed more money. So I said, okay, how do you get people money that are experiencing poverty? And this was in 2017 when we started thinking about this. It was before cash was sexy. COVID made cash a little sexier, but it's before cash was sexy, and it definitely was not sexy to think about giving money to Black women experiencing poverty in Mississippi. But moving beyond all of that, we said, how do we do this? And we stumbled upon guaranteed income, which is the language. And for those just to level set, guaranteed income is different than universal basic income. Um, Guaranteed income is a specific amount of money given to a specific population for a set amount of time. It's typically given to the most financially vulnerable within a community. Universal basic income is universality. It's everybody gets a check. When Andrew Yang ran for president, and I think in 2019, 2018, whenever he ran on universal basic income. I'm actually not a proponent or advocate of universal basic income because I don't believe that everybody needs a check. I think that doesn't get to the equity issues that exist within our country. But we started so going back, so in 2018, I learned about guaranteed income and I was like, oh, there actually is a thing to provide to the families that we work with. This idea of just giving people money is not a foreign concept. And it actually been done internationally for years. But not only that, a Black mother experiencing poverty, Johnny Tillman, in the 1970s, called for a guaranteed income. She was the founder of the National Welfare Rights Organization. She called for a guaranteed income for mothers, saying that mothers should be compensated for the work that they do. And Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., as well as President Nixon, also called for a guaranteed income as a way to alleviate poverty within this country. So in 2018, we launched the Magnolia Mothers Trust, which is the first modern guaranteed income program in this country. But more importantly, it was the first guaranteed income program to name the fact that poverty exists because of the intersection of racism, capitalism, and sexism in this country. And that we were going to name the fact that we were working with Black mothers experiencing poverty and provide them with the financial resources that they needed without strings attached, supporting their dreams for themselves and their family, and trusting that they knew better than anyone what it is that they need for themselves and their families to thrive. The work that we do is about cash in pockets, but it's more than that. It's about changing the narrative around poverty. It's about changing how we talk about poverty within this country. It's about changing how we talk about Black women experiencing poverty in this country. But more importantly, it's about the women that we work with, changing the way that they see themselves and talking about themselves differently, really going into what you all started with the meditation of leaning into abundance. The reality is the mainstream narrative is so pervasive in talking about poverty and making poverty seem as if it's an individual failing, as if individuals are not saving enough money or that you can do more if you didn't get your nails done, if you didn't go to Starbucks, if all of these things that we just know to not be true, that so many of the women that we work with begin to internalize that. And it's like, oh, if I just did better, I would be experiencing this. But the reality is, in the data that Vanessa talked about, so we all know that poverty is systemic, and that the reason that poverty exists is because of systems around pay inequity and the systems around how we're not paying folks in minimum wage and the inequities around childcare and all of those pieces are why women particularly experience poverty at rates that are higher than men within this country. So it's about changing that narrative as well and helping the women that we work with really move into abundance and overflow. So we started this work in 2018 with 20 mamas because it's all I could raise the money for. Nobody was just checking for, a Black woman in Mississippi trying to give other Black women money. But I knew in starting the work that it really was just a North Star, that it really was about starting the conversation and providing the proof of concept. And it really was about demonstrating that real change doesn't trickle down, but that it percolate up. And it was about being that change point for starting a conversation that will be picked up by many. And it really was about being that change point for a conversation to be picked up at the national level, which is where we are now with the work 6 years forward. And I'll pause.
Aisha, that was one so educational for me because I didn't understand the differences, quite frankly, between universal and guaranteed. And I'm imagining that a lot of women on this call for the first time are even hearing this framework and this possibility. And I'm wondering, I think like many other women are wondering, if you understand what you just said and you're excited by the potential or the possibility of how this could be game changing for communities, how do you get involved in the movement? If you're not in Mississippi, are there advocates working in every single city or state to try to bring legislation about? Like, what does it actually look like for us to bring these type of community solutions and scale them?
Thank you so much for that question. Thank you for that question. We started this work in 2018 with just one guaranteed income program. And then in 2019, Mayor Stockton came on board with his program, Seed. And then in 2020, when COVID happened, the movement exploded. So in 2020, for the first time, we as a country were brought to our knees and actually had to recognize that, what the advocates and what folks have been saying about the majority of the country not having financial resources to weather an emergency is actually true. What do we do about that? And we were like, we have a solution. It's called Cash in Pockets, Guaranteed Income. And so we really started honing what was necessary as a movement then and putting the infrastructure is already being put in place, but putting the supports in place at a very real level. So in 2020, I founded the Guaranteed Income Community of Practice with other leaders who were thinking about guaranteed income within this country. And that is a place where thought leaders, academicians, politicians, practitioners, advocates, where we come together monthly to talk about what it would look like to have guaranteed income, not just at a local level or state level or at a federal level as well. We were clear advocates of the child tax credit, and we advocated for that at a very real level in 2020. We had our moms were in weekly conversations with the White House and other partners around what it would look like to have the child tax credit expanded and make that permanent. So for ways for folks to get involved, I always say first, really think about what's needed within your community. You can go to our website at Springboard To Opportunities. You can go to the Guaranteed Income Community of Practice website to see if there are other programs already happening within your community. There are over 150 guaranteed income programs currently happening within this country. Those are either being run by local practitioners like myself running a community-based organization. Those are being ran by city council members. Those are being ran by mayors. In some instances, there are governors who have set up offices and they're running those programs. So it really is a movement that is moving so swiftly as we really think about what will legislation look like at the federal level. But I always say it is a movement that was started by Black women in Mississippi. So many, and I have to name that because so many times as work gets large, we begin to have a revisionist history. And I want to make sure that what happens in so many instances doesn't happen with this work and that Black women are erased. There were 20 Black women in 2018 that trusted me and trusted my organization enough to say we are going to bet on ourselves, and we are going to take a chance on you. And the reason it was such a big bet on themselves, because when we talk about poverty and we talk about systems and we talk about the interaction of the social safety net, all of these pieces are punitive. And so what that means is that when you have more money, that's considered income, and your other benefits go down. So the population that I work with are families that make less than $12,000 annually. So these are families that are living in federally subsidized affordable housing, in some instances Section 8, and they're families who are receiving SNAP and other benefits. So when you insert cash, which is what we do, of $1,000 a month, which is considered income, your other benefits go down. And so when we started this work in 2018, we had worked with economists in making sure that the $1,000 that we were providing was enough money to make sure we were doing good without doing harm. But we had no way of knowing how much benefits would actually decrease. But the women that we work with wanted to bet on themselves. And they said, in spite of knowing that there will be some reduction of benefits, that there will be some reduction of cost for our home, our household, we are going to take a chance on ourselves and take a chance on this cash in pocket and trust that it will be okay. And they did. And because of their trust in themselves and their trust in us, we now have a blueprint. We now have a model. We now have the systems in place that can actually determine how your benefits will be impacted when you have additional cash brought into the home. We now have all of these tools that have been put in place simply because of these 20 Black women in 2018 saying, I'm going to bet on Black and bet on myself.
Aisha, that is so helpful, very helpful information. I have one last question for you. As you were just talking, I feel like there's an undercurrent that we have to acknowledge, which is we live in a country where especially Black women have been told that we are only as valuable as our labor, as the actual work that we are doing. And so there is a direct connection, I believe, to this like sense of deserving around who deserves to have access to certain things versus who doesn't, that is directly tied to how hard people think we are working or not working. And I'm wondering if you think that's true, and if so, how do you overcome it? Because it's a little bit of what you were speaking about, even around the shame of like how people say we're spending our money. Oh, you got cable. Oh, you got nails. Oh, you got this. Oh, you had the audacity to even try to be happy. How do you address that concept for women, even for the women who have income, who might be thinking, but why I got to give some of my $1,000? You know, there's something there around our labor and worthiness and deserving. And I just wonder if you could speak to that as we close out this interview.
Yeah, I think to me that's the most evil aspect of poverty. This aspect of deservedness and who is entitled to a good life and who is entitled to not have to constantly be laboring, and that, quite frankly, it's the hardest part of the work that we do, is allowing the women to recognize that they have permission to see themselves differently and to really begin to move into what that means. Yeah, that's the hardest part, and that's the part that pains me the most, because it is this idea that, okay, I now have this $1,000, and I have this $1,000 for 12 months, so that's $12,000 annually, and I can actually rest a little bit. I can, take a moment to dream and be in peace and really think about what my next moves are. But with this, we see often that there is a sense of urgency that the women that we work with are like, okay, it's like double fire, where I now have to move. And what does it mean? Because I have to make sure that I am capitalizing on this moment. And we just always tell folks to take a beat and breathe. And, let your internal system slow down and really process and think through what it is that you want to do. But that internalization of what living in scarcity has done, and how we are constantly feeling as if we have to always be productive and moving, and that we are beholden to others about how we are spending our time, is something that I think that all of us as a society should be working to undo, especially Black women, especially with this ideal of rest.
Yeah. Thank you, Aisha. You can stay on the line if you want just to hear from, but we're going to open up the lines now. We have women who are walking in every part of the world, and they're going to contribute to this conversation. We'll take 2 or 3 callers before we close out this walk, y'all. So let's bring in our first caller. And if you have to, Aisha, you can, but I just want to say thank you so much. And I know that you've shared so much with the women already this morning.
No, again, thank you so much, Morgan and Vanessa. I love this, and I love y'all, and I've known y'all forever. And so, yeah, thanks for being a part of the vision and really thinking about how we all get free. So thank y'all.
Amen. Amen. All right, let's bring somebody in. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. You are walking and talking with Black women everywhere. What's your name and where are you walking at?
Good morning. This is Chandra, and I am walking in Chicago.
Good morning.
There were just so many gems this morning, from the meditation and just making those pictures of abundance and worthiness within myself, and how it really tied into Aisha's message about judging. And we can be very judgy about what we see people getting and what we might think they deserve. And I think that when we focus on our own worthiness and our own abundance or lack thereof, then we can really get to the root of why we're judging others. Mm-hmm. And when we are, I know I've seen it myself sometimes, I have a little, and so I'm holding on to it so tightly, I miss something else that I might have gotten. And just
that's the whole word right there. I just want to say, I got to interrupt. We be holding on to the little, then we miss the lot, y'all. We be holding on to the little, then we miss the lot. Yeah.
And to just express joy and gratitude for what I have, and just be waiting for more to come, because I am worth it. And that's all I have. Everything tied together so well this morning. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, sister, and thank you so much for calling in, and shout out to all of the women walking in Chicago. All right, we're going to take 2 more women before we close out. It's a beautiful Saturday here in Washington, D.C. Where are you walking today, Morgan? We didn't even share.
In Ghana, the wind is chapping my lips. But I got to speak in abundance, and I got abundance. That's what I'm saying. I got abundance. And I got this new stuff. I've been moisturizing my face. I don't know if you can see it on the gram. My face is looking moisturized, but I'm just trying to keep them moist.
Oh my God. Look, moisturize does matter. I've been trying to drink more water.
Yes, from the inside out. Yes. I was thinking about my plants were all slumped over in the house. And I was like, they need some water. And then I was like, I ain't even drink no water today. And I was like,
that be your insides, right? The plants be making you think that. Yes, I be thinking that when I look at my plants too. I be like, this is your insides telling you, please, I'm holding on to this root system, but give me some water. That's exactly what I be thinking too.
Exactly right. So everybody drink a lot of water today. It'll flush out the stress hormones and make you feel better. I think there's another caller. I can't wait to hear from you. What do you got to say, caller? Are you there?
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is Lisa in Texas, in North Texas. And I, like the previous caller, was completely moved by the meditation. And I'll just say this, that you also added the being in the moment. And I don't know, but I had a brain moment where I always say that, but you made me recognize that I've not been living in the moment. I've been living in the whole, I'm wise. I have all these experiences. I know what's about to happen. So I bring that energy, and it's defeating me a lot. So I want to live in the moment and I do that. I'm so inspired, but I'm stuck, and that is helping me get unstuck.
I'm chuckling because I
Can I
hear
tell
in your
you?
voice this level of self-awareness that sometimes when we get self-aware around our own self, we be like, it really was me. And that's kind of how your voice is.
Like, that was me right here.
Absolutely. So amazing. I love you all.
Oh, thank you, sister. We love you too. Yeah. And God bless for all of us for recognizing when we, it's the power of awareness to just, even if you can only recognize it for 10 seconds or 5 seconds, to be like, oh, wow, I was not in my body right now. I was not in this moment. My feet were not planted firmly. Like, even just that one split second can change something for you. All right, let's take one. You want to take one last caller, Morgan? I don't know if Morgan's lips got chopped, y'all. We're gonna take one more. She can't talk, but let's take one more caller, Tyrene. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great. So you can hear me? I wasn't sure.
Yes,
My name
we
is
can.
Lisa. I'm
Hi,
another
Lisa.
Lisa calling from California. And I do think everything just synergistically was delivered today in terms of this message. I'm grateful for Morgan's guidance and meditation, and then Dr. Aisha information, and then acknowledging, because I'm a mother of four boys, and I've kind of been on the spectrum in terms of finance. There's been times when I was holding down a few jobs and doing very well and saved very well, and then there have been times when, well, actually one time when me and my children were completely displaced because I was running from abuse and lived off of those savings and then didn't have it anymore. And so it's different. I think if I was raising daughters, some things I would have educated myself on. I had just been in survival mode, I think. And now I'm in a healing season and I want to live. And it's a different perspective. And so I'm learning so much about worthiness. I see it and seen it for everyone else, but I'm learning how to see it and accept it for myself. And I just want to, at this point, be in a moment of gratitude because there's so much to my story. But for the information and for the opportunity to teach young women and even myself right now, because the financial situation is about being in that intersection of other systems, because in this healing season, I was sat down, so I cannot work. And my son is providing for me to a degree that he can, and I'm grateful for that. But had I known some things, when you don't know what you don't know, you can't do what you should do, which is better. And I want to move from a space of blame. So I want to, like I said, I apologize for being all over the place. I didn't think I was going to be on the call today, but I just want to thank you.
Don't apologize. You're not all over the place. You're not all over the place. Yeah, we are hearing you loud and clear, and I'm sure so many women are hearing you loud and clear and are appreciating you, even just through your story and through the telling of your story and the understanding that you are in a healing space right now, and even all of your reflections is going to help some other woman have that same breakthrough.
I want to thank you, women, for just providing healing spaces, because part of it is having the opportunity to listen and be heard. And so today, especially with opening up the consciousness and being mindful of being worthy, and how abundance is all encompassing, because also I think it was Dr. Aisha who spoke to rest. There's another doctor, Dr. Danette, and she probably is on this call, who has been instrumental too in me being mindful at one point to have delicious rest. because even in this season of healing, because of finances, I haven't known like really how to rest, and my body wants to heal. And so it needs to rest. Like I'm still thinking of ways I can take care of myself because I've known nothing different. And I'm talking about the financial aspect without knowing that the rest is what can take care of me physically, because I want to be here. I want to be I've always visualized myself as a great great grandmother, and my sons have not become parents yet. And I want to be that one to bring these wisdoms that you women are sharing with our future communities. Looking 100 years forward is where I can focus in this moment. And so I just want to say I'm grateful. I'm going to look into those resources and how they can be provided in my community, or if they are even provided in my community and we're just unaware. I remember I used to state that, I won't complain, but it is a difference when that $40, $100 is missing from your paycheck, but to consider when it's missing in your household completely, when it has to operate different because you have to physically operate differently, it makes a difference. So, and then learning the difference between guaranteed income versus universal income was impactful. I'm over 50 and I didn't really have vocabulary for that. So thank you, Dr. Aisha. Thank you, Morgan and Vanessa, always for these calls and opportunities. Infinite gratitude to you, and I hope everyone has a beautiful weekend.
What is your name, sister? This is Morgan. What is your name?
Lisa.
Lisa. Let me just tell you something, Lisa. First of all, the devil's a lie trying to drop me off this call. I was just all of leaning into your testimony. I was just like, thank you, God, for Lisa's courage to be able to voice what so many women are experiencing. From the courage to leave what no longer served you, to the bravery to continue to be awake, alive, and sober, raising your children, to the truth of your testimony and unmuting your line and sticking your voice up, or lifting your voice, to your confessions that you haven't been able to rest, that you don't know how to be in the present moment, to the very practical like yearnings for like just this much additional cash, to your agency to say, but I have enough abundance to try and help other people. Let me figure out what's going on in my community. What I am telling you, Lisa, is that you are the solution. You are doing it. You are successful. You are successful at your life right now. You have made the impossible decisions. You have made the bravest choices. You've lifted your voices up on the biggest platforms, and I am so proud of you. I was just sitting here like, I am so proud of Lisa. Like, I didn't know your name even. I'm so proud of this woman. I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of you. Yeah, and I am just saying that you are right. That if we can satiate in the moments of rest, if we can rub together our own 2 feet and make us and feel alive, if we can just take an inhale in and say I'm worthy and an exhale out and say I am here, we are living in abundance. And yet we still need that $40 to get from here to there. We still need to fill our tanks up with gas. We still need to put bread in our babies' mouths. And that's where together we can organize. And so I am excited for you to look at what guaranteed income programs are in your community, to share it with your friends, to apply yourself. I am excited for you to help us organize. And you know you can always reach out to us at info@girltrek.org if you find solutions that you think we should scale, because that's how we work. We are 1 million Black women who are 1 million Black women. And we are each other's keeper. So we take the ideas that our sisters have and we amplify them and we scale them quickly. So I'm super excited for you to be an activist in the moment that is learning how not to survive, but really satiate and thrive in every moment of your life. And you have already envisioned and felt in your body 100 years, 200 years, 300 years, 700 years, and what that looks like for your legacy and your seeds and your children. And I want to argue that your legacy is also something you are planting on this phone right here, that somebody is hearing you and deciding, I'm not staying in this situation because of money. Somebody is hearing you and saying, I am going to accept this money from my child because I want to live better, right? Somebody is hearing you, and your words were really impactful. So I just wanted to chime in and say thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Morgan.
much.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you to all of the women who stuck with us and walked. And thank you to all of the women who have been inviting other women back into this sacred space. We are going to be here every Saturday through the end of October, leading up to the election, walking and talking about powerful solutions. We recap what we talked about and share the recordings in our Friday emails. So we will be back here same time, same place. I will close out. Lisa was saying that, you know, sometimes it's expensive to even figure out how to take care of yourself. Take a walk this week, y'all, then take another walk, then take another walk, then take another walk. Lace up your sneakers, walk outside your front door. It is intentionally an activity that we chose to unite our movement because we knew that it was accessible, affordable, that it was cross-cutting in terms of its ability to help us physically, mentally, spiritually, and come together in community. So the power of walking is alive, and it is healing us, and it is bringing us together. We are going to close out on some Frankie Beverly just like we started. Y'all get your white outfits ready so that we can all show up next week on Friday. That's all I got. You got anything else, Morgan?
No, I don't. Live in the moment, y'all. We're wealthy this moment. We are wealthy this moment, and we are worthy. I love all of y'all. Vanessa, take care. I love you. I hope everybody has a good weekend.